Media is not dead in my eyes. I know Jim's not on this call today, but so basically I wanted to mainly focus on 3 areas: Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. However, it's important to mention that most of what I will cover today will relate to a lot of other platforms. I wouldn't be able to fit in, obviously, a 10-minute presentation speaking about every single platform. So I think it's important just to notice straight away that the information I share today is transparent and it will be able to be used on other platforms such as Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, Pinterest, all the others that, as we all know, there's many out there. So social media use around the world. So it might be surprising for many of you to know that over half the global population use social media, which is incredible, really, because that just shows like the opportunity we all have as business owners to be able to target different people. And with half the global population being online, there's even more reason for us to start using it and using it in different ways to be able to become more visible to people. 4.20, obviously total number of active social media users around the world, as I said, is more than half. And the annual change, so as I spoke about, is social dead? Probably not, because every year we're seeing an increase in usage. It was up by 13.2% last year. This actually came from Hootsuite, which obviously, as many of you know, are the hub for a lot of social media assets that they provide. And also 98.8% of people are using it mobilely as well. It's not just through their laptops, whatever, they're actually using it on the go as well. So again, important statistic, I think, to note when in this world that we live in, where especially due to the pandemic, a lot of people are using their phone a lot more and being online. And that leads me on to say, how has COVID increased the online usage of digital activities? So again, starting from the top left, watching more shows, films, obviously that's all natural. That will come no as a surprise for us. We'll ignore the middle two for now, heading up to the top right. So music streaming services have increased by a lot, 37%. Again, this is no surprise to us. Podcasts becoming more and more popular. I think that will only grow going forwards. I haven't mentioned it in this presentation, but it could be an area that some of us could even focus on doing podcasts, especially for me within the travel industry. Doing a travel podcast could be of interest going forwards. Video content, as we all know, is growing massively, 16%. That's increased over the COVID period. And then obviously it's not surprising that the computer and gaming industry is enhanced, and obviously more time on mobile apps as well, mainly for the younger generation being off school with regards to those percentages. So more crucially, the top two there, spending longer usage social media, 43%, that's increased by because of COVID. And is that going to change anytime soon? Probably not. It's only going to increase. Yes, we're seeing light at the end of the tunnel, but I think if people are attached to social media now over this period of time, they're going to continue to be attached to it and use it more frequently going forwards. Again, this really highlights, I believe, the importance of us being able to utilize social media now in the market and in the world that we live in to be able to reach more people for our given businesses and do that through messenger services, as you see on the right as well. That's increased by 42% as well over the pandemic. So the algorithms, I firmly believe you need to understand the algorithms before you really venture in to start to plan what social media channels you're going to be using and how you're going to be using them. They're imperative in my eyes for the success of using the social channels. Yes, we can all join Instagram. Yes, we can all join LinkedIn, but actually getting to know the algorithms and how you can work best with the platforms to enhance your activity is like I said, it's imperative to your performance and how it works. So I'm not going to bore you with all the details about algorithms, but I think it's important to highlight. So how do algorithms work? So basically, they take each post that we all post, and it scores it based on the types of things that you typically like. So if I use my Facebook, for example, on my social one, I follow a lot of sport and Norwich City stuff. So if I'm continuing to like a lot of Norwich City pages, are they going to show me stuff related to Ipswich? Probably not. And obviously, more about the recency as well. So our post popping up related to obviously what the most recent content is on each of those platforms. Once you've passed that stage in terms of how your content is out there, it then gets rid of posts that people are unlikely to engage with. And that's just based on past behavior. So if I'm on my phone and I'm interested in sport, but then I flick through and I see, I don't know, something related to food, and I just skip past it, the algorithm recognizes that I've skipped past food straight away. So next time I'm online, it will kind of demote that content so I don't even see it. That's just how it works. And the clickbait as well. So obviously each of these platforms are their own business. They want you to stay on their page. So Facebook, for example, if you're putting a post on Facebook that is now leading you away from the Facebook page, Facebook are not going to like the fact that you're leaving their system. So therefore, again, they're going to kind of demote that sort of content and allow other content that you're making engagement with and getting people on board with to engage with your content, and therefore getting more likes, clicks, shares, whatever it is within that content. And Facebook love that, as do all the other channels as well. So trying to avoid clickbait and posting stuff that people are unlikely to engage with will obviously help with your individual businesses in a way that obviously will promote the different content. Let's look at it in more of a personal way, and I'll come on to this a bit later in terms of my own and how I've developed my business in a personal way on social media. But as that states there, 20% likely to watch a fashion tutorial, fact for me, but I'm 80% likely to engage with pictures of friends and family that are out there. Let's also not forget that the word social media, in the phrase social media, it's social. It's all about social. It's friends, it's family, it's what you do, it's where you go, it's who you engage with, it's those things. And I think some people tend to forget that in the business world, that actually it's a social platform. We are using the social platform to promote our business. So we need to do that in a very specific way to gain more engagement to help us in the long run. And then lastly, it then makes sure that you are incorporating a different range of content. So it's not just a photo, it's not just videos you're posting all the time. You need a big variety of content to go out there, not only to display to your potentials, but also for Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube to like what you are doing. You want to do, even YouTube, for example, you can put a video up, but you could put a video up with subtitles. You could put a video up with photos in like a bit of a collage. Being different with it, those platforms will like that, and that's where your post will then be seen on a higher level and gain more reach. Let's touch on the LinkedIn algorithm, more specifically, obviously related to business. So there's 4 filters, okay? And these filters, which we all need to understand, especially, like I said, within our own individual business. So the initial filter is when you post anything, make it stand out. So it can be placed in what they class as the clear category. Okay, so if I was to post something without a photo, without a video, without any emojis or without any hashtags or anything, it's just plain black writing. Are LinkedIn going to like that? Probably not. How can I enhance that? Well, the first line of my post, I could say something that's going to be engaging to somebody. Did you hear about this? Did you see this? Or breaking news or something like that. So straight away, the person's engaged. If you then continue it with just words, it's probably still not going to be liked, but are you going to get a bit more engagement because people have recognized it straight away? Probably yes. So and a point to reiterate, make it stand out, make sure that you're clear on what you're trying to offer and get that engagement straight away. Testing session. So after that filter 1, you go through to filter 2. This initial reaction that you get from your post will really decide how big your post is going to go, how far it's going to go. There's a stat on here, which I'll share with you guys in a little while, but it's basically the first 60 minutes of your post is imperative to how that's going to perform over the next 24, 48, however many hours, 72 hours going down the line. So straight away, we need to then start to get those likes, shares, comments, and whatever. Scoring system. So once it's past that stage and it's now going into the next one, LinkedIn are going to go, right, how are we going to help this post gain momentum? How are we going to get out to more people? Well, it's simple. The way they described it was like the Hogwarts house points. If you get a like on your post, brilliant, you get 1 point. If you get a comment, you get 2 points. If you get a share, brilliant, you get 3 points. And obviously, the more points you get, the more visible you're going to be. We all know that, but it's just important to reiterate the like is a point, the 2 points, and the share is 3 points. Having done this research over the last week, what I'm now going to start to do with my posts and what I've learned, and like I said, I'm nowhere near where I want to be on my social media. I've learned a lot, but I need to incorporate it a lot more within my business. But what am I going to start to do now, having read this one? I'm going to encourage people to comment. I'm going to encourage people to share, because that's where I'm going to get more points. And ultimately, I'm going to have my post visible to more people. How am I going to do that? Well, I saw this over the last couple of days. So yesterday I did a post. A few of you may have seen it. Holiday dreaming, question mark. Me too. Okay. Straight away, people are thinking about that. And then I did get a few comments off it. Yes, of course, down the line in 2, 3, 4 weeks time, whatever it may be, I want to enhance that further. I want people to comment, but really using an engagement line straight away. Holiday dreaming, yes or no? Yes, I am. Right, where are you going to go next? And add that question in to get people to comment, which will enhance your reach. And finally, the real people assessment. Once you pass through this, it will go to the people in LinkedIn. They will decide how far this is going to go. And that is down to, as I said, mainly the point scoring system. But is this content working well on our platform? Brilliant. Let's share it far and wide. Let's share it outside of Elliott's network. Let's push it far and wide. So why are algorithms a good thing? Again, this is generic across the board. I've related to Instagram here, but this is generic. Well, let's take Instagram, for example. Users now see the best and most relevant content every time they check their feed. Before the algorithms were incorporated, everything that we all posted on this call, we all were posting, would be in chronological order. So it wouldn't be specific around what I was wanting to see, what you were wanting to see, Glenn, what you were wanting to see, John, etc. It was just chronological order. So we were seeing pretty much everything. But is that engaging for us? No, they had to change it. So as a result, now, because of the algorithm, and if we use the systems to be able to post and enhance our performance on social, we will now be seen by 50% more followers because of the algorithm. So I think a lot of people have this perception that algorithms are quite negative, but no, they're great. We just need to know how to use them. And that's the important thing, I think, one of the most important things that we can take away from today as well. And as a result, business owners get a lot more targeted audience. We can really pin down to who we want to promote to and what we want to promote. Finally, at the bottom there, as long as you create engaging, relevant and timely content, you'll get your content in front of people that you want to see most. And that is exactly the thing that we all want to do as business owners within our given industries. So how do you work with the algorithm for your business in a Facebook way? This is related to Facebook, but I'll repeat, this will be across many boards as well. First of all, reply to your audience. If you get a comment, reply straight away. No ifs, no buts. Get back to that person who's sent you a message, if that's a comment or if it's a share or if that's even a direct message to you. Get your audience replying to each other. How do you do that? You create conversation. Okay, so like I said on my post yesterday, I created a conversation by asking people where they're going to go next. Again, I want to do more of that, but that's a way in which you can create conversation between people. Post when your audience is aligned. This is a really important one. If I'm promoting to Australians, I'm going to be wanting to post at 2 a.m., for example. Okay, we're all going to be different in terms of when we post, but it's all about you finding out which in the industry that we're all in, what works best for you. For me personally, 7 p.m. in the evening on Facebook is a great time. That's when most of my audience. How do I know that? I look at my analytics and I look at my insights on my Facebook to target the audience, and I see when the best engagement I get is on my post. And again, this is all trial and error. I'm still trialing it now, but that's typically when I get the most reach. 8 a.m. in the morning as well is a great time. People are waking up, having a quick scroll on my phone. My partner does it all the time. It does my head in, but she does it all the time. But that's when she enjoys having a quick scroll before she then gets out of bed and then goes off to work. So again, it's based around doing your homework as such and digging deeper into when works for you for your business. You can skip the algorithm by using Facebook stories. This might work on Instagram stories as well. I don't know if it's specific to Facebook or not, but Facebook stories doesn't have an algorithm. Therefore, it will, of course, give you the stories from the people that you engage with. Of course it will, but it's almost in chronological order. If I upload a story now and you're on my Facebook, you'll probably see it in the next minute because it will be there in chronological order what's been uploaded. Go live on Facebook. I can honestly say I haven't gone live on Facebook. Am I going to? Yes, I am, definitely, because it creates a lot more engagement. If people see that you're going live, they're like, oh, what's Elliott about to say? So I'm going to utilize that. But it's another thing that you guys can do. We can do it on different platforms now as well, like on Instagram. Make videos people want to watch. Lorna, I picked up on your comment last week where you don't like Head and Shoulders videos. So that's great feedback for me personally, because that's what I've been doing in my videos. Of course, people react to different videos in different ways. So now what I'm going to start to do is do some videos where maybe there's some imagery at the start to gain the attention of different people, and then also go on to maybe some Head and Shoulder stuff and then some stuff later down the line. But be different with your videos and what you do. If you are doing videos, be different with them and almost stand out from the crowd, because a lot of video content is coming out. So be different with that. And as I mentioned earlier, don't post clickbait because they want you to stay on your platform. 7 ways to improve your business through an Instagram ranking. I'm going to quickly whiz through this because I'm conscious of time, guys. But basically, embrace the latest features. Okay, so Instagram have just released Reels. Reels are like short stories as such, but they're kind of attracted to a bigger audience. They really go quite far. As soon as Reels was announced in the first week, I posted a Reel, and I'll be honest and say I rushed it. I didn't take my time on it at all. I got it out there quickly. And it went so far. and I didn't post any hashtags or anything like that. So utilizing the new features within each of these platforms is a great way to enhance and be visible. Use Instagram story stickers. So for example, if I put a post on now and it said, who's looking forward to traveling, or who thinks they will travel later this year, or are they going to save it for 2022? I can get people to vote on my story to decide which one. Again, that's great information for me. It shows who's engaging with my business, but more importantly, Instagram are loving that. They're loving the fact that I'm getting engagement on my story. So therefore they're going to drive my content a bit further. And that leads me on to say, drive conversations, like I was saying about before. Be the person to start the conversations in your post. Don't just let everybody else drive it. You prompt it and then let it flow, and then add in something else to let it flow again. Hashtags, important thing within social media, particularly within Instagram. You can use up to 30 hashtags. Be very specific on the hashtag usage as well. Again, a really important thing I learned last year. If I put hashtag travel, that seems common knowledge to many of us, of course, and it's probably a thing that you'd expect me to post. But how many other people are putting hashtag travel? Probably 200 million people. Is my post going to be seen with hashtag travel? No. What about hashtag luxury travel in the Maldives? If I'm doing a Maldives post, is that going to be seen? Probably. So I'm going to use more specific hashtags around my business. Be a bit creative with the hashtags. To save time as well, save them on your phone. So if you're posting from your phone, save them in your notes, copy and paste them every time you do a post. Cross promote your content. Instagram is great for this. You can do lots of different ways. Instagram TV, Reels. They've just released the guides, which is basically like the articles in a LinkedIn section as well. So really cross promote it and be different with your content. Keep on top of your DMs. If people message you, message them back straight away as soon as you can, or whenever works for you guys. Use insights. I talked about this earlier. This is imperative. It's really, really important. Use the insights. I overlooked it at the start when I started my business. I wasn't paying attention to it at all. That was a massive error from my part. I was posting content which I think was working well, but it wasn't. I wasn't getting the engagement because I wasn't posting at the right time. Use the insights to utilize how you can go forward. Related to LinkedIn, the first 6 minutes after posting content are the most crucial part of content marketing success. It's the golden hour for your post. It goes back to what I was saying before about the likes, comments, shares. If you can get those likes, comments, and shares early, and how do you do that? By creating engaging content to draw people into your post straight away to make sure they like it, then do that. And that first 60 minutes is going to determine pretty much how well your post is going to perform. And then obviously create posts, useful career related tips. I touch on this later in the presentation, but basically it's all about drip feeding, giving people information. How have I been doing that within my business? COVID's been, in many ways, a good thing for me to be able to promote on social media and give people updates about travel. How is it going to resume? What different things can we use? So again, in each of our different industries, we can provide that information by doing that. But just to remember, just make it engaging. When to post on LinkedIn, this is generic. This is research done for different countries based on obviously the time zones being in the same area. So like I said, if it was Australia, their time Australia is 11 to 12, same with us here. So the most clicks and shares Tuesdays, 11 to 12. I can send this presentation on to everybody after this if you make a note on it. But basically, it would be important to use this as a guide as to when you can post this. Okay, and when will work for you. But it is important, as I say at the bottom there, trial and error. It's important to you. It's personal to you. This may work for you, it may not. It depends on your network and it depends on who you're trying to reach. As I said, relating to Australia, again, if I am trying to share to Australia, I need to do it at 2 a.m. I don't need to be doing it at 11 till 12 my time on a Tuesday for the most clicks and shares. What else? Obviously, there's so much we can speak about with social media. There's a lot to go at. Some of the main things which are kind of been incorporated a bit more recently, paid advertising. I can't remember who it was last week, John, but somebody mentioned about paid advertising and they were thinking about using this and they didn't have too much success with it. Paid advertising is all about being really specific with your target audience. Again, I'll give you a quick example. So for me, if I'm posting a honeymoon, I could spend £5 for 2 days, so £2.50 a day. That's what Facebook are going to do for me to reach out to more people. Okay, I can then really so instead of open up to everybody in Norwich between the age of 18 to 65, I'm going to be more specific about that. I'm going to go, right, honeymoon age, let's go 22 to 30, 32. Okay, I'm going to push it there. Who am I really focusing? Who mainly engages with honeymoon posts online? Males or females? Mainly females, 100%. Right, let's target the females in that category. Let's pin it down to them. and I'm going to spend £5 over 5 days. So it's going to perform for 5 days, and that's what I'm going to do. And it's important to note, yes, your post might get engagement, but this is for the long haul. This is all about drip feeding and your shop window. This is about being visible, getting people to like your page so they can then see your content going forward. This works as well on obviously Instagram as well and other platforms. But this is our shop window. This is the opportunity that we have to become visible to more people, and that's exactly what we want to do. Inform tagging accounts and people. Tagging accounts are important. So for example, if I book a hotel, I will tag the hotel in it. And I'll say, so excited to book this hotel for honeymooners. This is what they're doing. And this is when they're going, how long for, etc., whatever it may be. Tag the hotel. What do the hotel then do on Instagram? They then share that on their platform. So they've got 2,000 followers. So now my post is being shared on their platform because I've tagged them. And now somebody who sees their post, they want to book it as a package to be package protected as opposed to booking with the hotel direct. Oh, who could do it? Elliott could do it because he's been tagged, because he's booked somebody to go there. Again, this will work in different ways for us all, but tagging accounts and people is important, and it will only enhance your reach. And this is what I'm trying to continue to do going forward as well. Finally, last 2 slides, guys. Sorry, planning and scheduling. Many different platforms to schedule your posts. Stuart's not on the call, is he? He hasn't jumped on. No. I was going to say, I was going to use Stuart as an example. So Stuart, typically at the start of the month, that will be his busiest time. Obviously as an accountant, and obviously around the April sort of time. So what could he do to enhance his scheduling and planning better, to be better prepared, is he could schedule all his posts on the last week of the month for the first week. So when he gets around to the first week, he can concentrate on the things that he needs to do because he's very busy. So it's all about planning and scheduling. Later, Hootsuite, Content Cal, Loomly, all great platforms for doing this. I use Hootsuite. It's a free platform. You can pay for it to obviously have the higher upgrade of it. There's many more platforms. These are the main ones that I've come across, which I would recommend as well. Canva, great platform. You can schedule on Canva, but what I use Canva for mainly is on Canva, I have my own profile, and I have the travel counselors brand colors, I have the travel counselors logos, and I have the travel counselors, I have the, what do you call it? Sorry, the fonts. So whenever I create something, I'm on brand with what travel counselors are wanting, and therefore obviously it appeals to be more professional. That will work really well when I go onto my website. And finally, personalization is key. Important to be personal with your posts. That's my Instagram feed. There's a couple of screenshots from there.